We might.
Maybe. It's a possibility. Hey, guys. Dave from Nerdarchy, for nerds, by nerds, hanging out with these nerds.
It's Nerdarch.
Nerdarch is Ted.
And then soon they'll probably be answering your question, Nate. Do we have sound?
I was also thinking, do we have a duplicate? That's what I was wondering, like last week. But
yeah, you had to get up last week.
Oh, yeah. Nah, there shouldn't be anything open. Although I thought that last week as well. But my doppelganger struck. Bum, bum, bum.
It's that time, you know.
No, now I'm
You're the doppelganger. No. So we're gonna start this, man. Thank you guys. Thank you for getting us where we are today, man. Without you, the viewers, our friends, we would be nowhere. We'd be just broadcasting to the void, and now we are friggin'
50,000 subscribers.
50.
Woo!
I know. We need noisemakers and poppers and strippers and T-Rexes and all kinds of things. All the things.
I don't know why we need strippers or T-Rexes, but
strippers make life better.
They could ride the T-Rexes with the poppers.
They sprinkle happiness and stripper dust everywhere.
So they're like giant pixies?
They're like giant pixies.
Oh, all right. I've never heard them described as that, but sure.
All the things. So yeah, thank you guys. It's awesome. We really appreciate it. At some point, we're going to announce what the giveaway is going to be for 50K, and how you guys can enter for that. We do have some cool prizes, so that's pretty good. Do we have anything on our normal agenda for today?
No, this is that weird week where we really don't have the typical stuff. Patreon is typically next week. Giveaway was last week that we didn't really finalize.
Okay, so we could finalize that. Well, we could have before we started.
Yes,
our administrator should get on that.
Oh, I mean, I could just make an executive decision and be like, hey, I'm going to give away this and I'm going to give away that.
All right, make it so.
All right, so I've got a battle mat that is in a nice long tube, and we'll give away some books to go along with it.
Battle mat and some tubes. Nice. Battle mat in a tube and nice books.
Yes.
We should show the stuff we're going to give away. You're just going to randomly pull something. Wait a minute. These are my books.
What can I reach?
There is the tube.
Yeah. So that's going to be our January giveaway?
Yes.
We're so organized. We're overwhelmed by reaching the 50K subscribers.
It says it right there on the nice happy tube.
Jason Hobbs, can I trade my strippers for Xanathars? I think Xanathars is a lot cheaper. I've heard anyway. I've heard.
David says strippers do appear in chat, but don't stay long. Yeah, because we block them.
So it comes with a set of dice. It comes with the dry erase markers.
Hey, I would let them stay if they would talk about the topics
or something. Yeah.
But they're just robots anyway. Robot strippers. Terrible.
First, I thought the paper was part of the battle mat. I was like, oh no, we've got problems. Ted just ripped it, but no, it's not.
Ted is destroyed it. They're digging your sweater.
Yes, my Merry Christmas.
Your faux sweater.
Yes, it says Merry Christmas. It's got the sleigh being pulled by a dragon or a wyvern. It's got a D20 on there. This looks a lot like Christmas.
Thank you, comrade. We appreciate it.
Battle mat, you got the whole parchment side, or you can get the white side, whatever
parchment side,
whatever you prefer.
And you can scribble on it with dry erase markers.
They are available on.
Oh, they wouldn't know, Ted. C.A. Hollenbach wants to know where you can find said sweater.
I don't know. I think I got it as a Christmas gift last year.
Ted's Closet. If you can find Ted's Closet, you can absolutely get one.
Yeah.
Well,
hopefully you're the same size.
It wouldn't be in the closet. It'd be in the t-shirt drawer. I've got like 5 or 6 of them. So good luck.
Kelsey Nicole, I'm running a game of D&D today. I need some help. I have my players going through a vampiric lair. I don't know is that any different than a vampire's lair? A vampiric lair?
Well, I think the lair itself is vampiric.
Well, that's what I mean. That's a huge difference.
So it's gonna, consume and so it's live.
Is the layer itself hostile, or is it just the things in it?
I think the layer itself. Right?
Doug says, I think Geek has those sweaters. That's a good possibility. They do have a lot of stuff over there.
So I would just search Christmas and see what happens.
Just a whole bunch of people taking swords to trees and things. It's a critical hit.
Every round, make a saving throw versus vampiric touch.
Mm.
Sounds a little brutal, though.
That sounds pretty brutal, yeah. Maybe like extreme environment, it just drains you of vitality. You take exhaustion levels, like if it's extreme cold or something. Unless you have a talisman.
I don't know. Providing exhaustion levels gets pretty harsh.
Yeah, six failed.
Six is death.
Yeah, six failed saving throws is dead.
And let's face it,
you just got to do it once an hour.
Pretty much you get to 5, and then you just can't move.
Well, they're going to be like 2 or 3 exhaustion levels in before they...
Bards in the basement question: what does Nerdarchy crew personally do when they feel the GM fatigue? It's funny you should ask that, Bards in the basement.
We just recorded a video earlier this morning about DM burnout.
Someone sent us a GM 911. It could have maybe even been you. So we just did it kind of as a regular video. I don't think we've talked about it before, possibly. Yeah, we've done a lot of videos. So we're going to actually cover that this week for you guys. Kenny, where can I find out? Ooh, what article are they looking for? Maybe
Nerdator in Chief Doug could point you in the right direction.
Oh, they're talking about, could you see Nerdator Chief and Nerdator Doug? You could see other holiday stuff on at Nerdarchy 2070 holiday guide. So yes, the writers over there put together a holiday guide you guys can check out, along with all the other awesome content. And as always, when we do these things, down in the description below, you can find what can you find? All the links. You can find the links.
So whether it be the stuff on the website, the YouTube channel, what have you, RPG related Kickstarters that have reared their heads in our direction.
So I'm trying to get my thing. Like the chat is working fine, but it's not updating on how many people in there, or there literally is only 9 people in the chat. Dun, dun, dun.
There could be just 9 people. No, mine says 58. So you're
your
thing's just not updating.
Yeah, mine is being a jerk.
Are you not properly logged in?
Maybe. So I do want to share out on Twitter anyway. While we're doing the thing, might as well.
Anyone else from Nerdarchy going to get on season 3 for Savor Dice? He's finally on season 1. Looking forward to catching up with season 2 live stream.
Well, we are I guess we're not really talking about it yet, but we are talking about another session or a game night for Savor Dice. So all I can say is Nerdarchy will be involved, and I won't be on it. So, but I cannot say anymore. Oh, no, I cannot tweet out over here. I don't think I have Twitter. I do not have the Twitters connected to this here device. I thought I did. Son of a bitch. Using my device instead of Ted's, which is connected to the Twitters.
I could sneak away and go get the other one.
It's too late. It's too late. We can't go back. We have to go all the way around.
Yeah, you might trip on things.
Yeah. Plus, those that didn't make it in here in time, they're just gonna have to figure out for themselves how to win the stuff that we're giving away for the 50K giveaway.
So as we said, there's something special that's planned for that. I don't know, whether we want to wait a while before we get into that fun.
Yeah, I think so. We'll let the chat fill up a little bit more. Oh, we got greetings from Italy. Sweet. It's always cool to see where in the world we're reaching out to, like little thids in our Nautilus. Feel like we have a couple questions. Meet Moo. How would you guys go about finding a D&D game, say at a local gaming store, in the scope of I don't know anyone there and I want the game to join in on? The best thing is to go to your local gaming store and just talk to the staff, right?
Like, hey, they're
gonna know what's going on.
Do you have game nights? Do you have people looking for additions to their group? If you just ask questions, it'll point you in the right direction to the right people.
You can also discuss putting up a flyer if they have that someplace where you can put it up and just say, email me here or whatever.
Looking for a group.
Yeah.
The one group we put together, and then we kind of absorbed a player from that group. Ryan actually did it. He put an ad on Craigslist or something, I think. Although who knows what you're going to get. You might get something weird. You can also do a meetup or something like that as well. or it's like start the thing you want. If there isn't a thing, be the one to put up a flyer saying, "Hey, starting a game." Make it happen. Zarif Gaming going to do a live game next week. Any last minute advice? So if you mean like recording and broadcasting, it just depends on. There's a lot of factors that can go into that, depending on whether you're just going Google Hangout and just going right out. I've switched to using Zoom, but you have to pay for it if you want to have more than, I think, like 2 people on it. So that might not be a good option for you. It just depends on what you want to do. I think it's like $50 a month or something. But that seems to work better for our live games than what we were doing before. With just Hangouts, it seems to have seems to be less intensive on your internet, so you get a better connection.
Hangouts have hang-ups.
Hangouts do have hangouts at times.
And if you haven't done a live stream before, make sure you do a practice one with everybody. Like a session 0 online, that would be helpful. Unless it's a one-shot, and then you just got to be like, oh, well, we'll see if it works out.
And if you're not looking for technical, advice, if you're looking for just, general, take a deep breath, have fun. The whole point of, gaming online is to have fun and be able to reach people that are out there. Some people might not like your style of gaming, and you'll get comments on it, and it's not a big deal. Just have fun and enjoy it.
Question: what kind of microphone do you use for the table games? We just use a Yeti, man. We use a Yeti and hang it from, that's Bards in the Basement too, and hang it from the rafters, essentially. I mean, we finally upgraded and put it on a shock thing, which you may not even, well, the Spelljammer game was done that way. So yeah, so we're really low tech on that. We talked about some different options we could do, and we just haven't gotten around to it. Maybe when these games wrap up and we do more of a curated live game, we'll get more involved with that and try and do a better setup with like multiple cameras and things like that.
Yeah, we got some time before that winds up transpiring.
Could be. Because those two games are going for a while, and someday I'll actually get around to putting them online. You guys can watch them again. I'm really bad at that. I apologize.
I put up one today. I'm going to put up one tonight of my games, but not the in-house games.
Right.
See, Truemate, question: when branching out to new RPG with a different system, would you suggest research and just go for it, or play a few pre-gen modules to get the hang of the new game? We generally just go for it. I don't know if that's the best way. I just know that's what we do. So
you just you gotta go for it. There's so many things that get built in that if you're building to anything that is a branch off of D&D, so like Open Legend or Mutants and Mastermind, you're already familiar with the D20 mechanic. If you're a veteran gamer, then it doesn't really matter what else is out there. You just have to find the crux of the mechanics of how it all works, but the actual role playing and that kind of stuff you already know how to do, so just dive in.
The other thing I would add is, like, if you can find someone that's GMing that game and running that game, then that is a lot easier. If you can just like sit in on some games and play it, so this way you don't have to learn from behind the GM screen.
That is absolutely a killer point of advice. That's the way I prefer to actually learn a system, is to play with somebody who already knows how it all works.
Andrew Johnson, how do you deal with no call, no show in game? Hey guys, just pop question or GM 911 in front of your questions. It's just easier for us to pick them out that way. And it's like any job, you just fire them.
I say you just don't sweat it. They don't show. Don't stress out over what to do with them. Just let their non-existence at that session fade into the background. Let the players who are there take control, and when the person shows back up, they rematerialize without really worrying about it, because like, we're here to have fun. We're not here to stress out over, oh my God, Jim's not here, what do I do?
I find that although it is kind of rude if they don't show up and don't call, I would be annoyed with them as a friend and a person. But as far as the game goes, So like I find people make a much bigger deal of this than it actually is, because they're like, oh, the story and this and that. And literally my last game, one of the players didn't show up at the last minute. And I was like, all right, well, I'm going to have their character do a thing in the very beginning, and then I can have like an idea what I want to do with them. But things got moving so fast, the rest of the players never even asked about what the other character was doing. They didn't care. They just wanted to play the game, you know, and things were moving too fast, and they didn't worry about it. I didn't worry about it. And that character will show up eventually later, and no one will care.
Sometimes, you know, the players in my game, I've got it was like nine to 10 people that are technically associated with my game, and you know, it's all a crux of who's actually gonna show up. Got, you know, core group of 4 to 5 people, and then the add-ons. And there's been times where a player will be like, "Oh, well, where's so and so?" And I could say you don't know, and other times other players will just like, "Oh, well, I'm gonna send this character off to go do something," and that gives a story reason of why they're not there. But I don't try to put too much work into it, because if it's not an effortless thought to me, I don't put any effort to doing it, because it's non-work. It doesn't matter why they're here or why they're not there. The hinge of my story is not.
But what about when you write a book about your campaign? What are you going to do?
I'm not going to write a book about my campaign.
Wait a minute. What about when a movie studio comes to you and be like, yo, that awesome D&D campaign you ran, we're turning it into a movie, but we need to know what happened to that character.
That character at that one moment is everything hinges on that one moment. Okay, yes. give me 10 minutes and I'll come up with a fabulous reason. Is that what you want to hear?
Oh, the strippers have showed up. Wonderful. They know it's our 50K celebration.
Are they offering free D20s?
I don't know. The message was retracted. When Doug came in with the band hammer. Doug, can you confirm that it was not a D&D related comment? That white guy memes question: do you guys have any advice for DMing for PCs that are young novice? Thanks, love your content. We've actually done quite a few videos on that at this point. You know, like we've done a couple with you, we've done a couple with Scott, we've done a couple with all of us, I think. GM tips with TL Franschetti and Satine Phoenix. They did a great show on that topic as well. So, I mean, the main thing is like keep the content appropriate to the age group, and you know, just have fun. You know, don't worry about the rules so much and making them crunch numbers and do math. Just, you know, with kids, sometimes it's a lot easier to get them to just play the game.
Adam says they just did a video this week on young players. It seems so long ago.
Oh, did we? Oh, yeah, with you, yeah. The way we do content is like, you know, the videos we record typically Friday and Saturday.
That video was shot a couple of weeks ago.
So like that, you know, there's times that it could be weeks prior that things were recorded. I don't know when they go up. Dave spends far more time, since he does the editing and the uploading. He sees the material far more often, so they're more ingrained in his head, and he knows when they go up. So like for me, it's like, all right, I show up, I record videos, I, you know, put forth ideas, but who knows when they're actually going to go on the air.
I just thought it was funny since it was this week, one of them. I mean, we've got several just with different people and different topic angles on it.
Right. But as Dave says, like, you know, keeping things appropriate, and the important part is to have fun and keep them engaged. If they seem like they're wandering, do something to pull them back in. And that's the key.
Keep a wooden spoon handy. Can you add a question? If publishing adventures content, are you guys okay with the writer creator using show topics in the material? Example, encounter ID, fairy dragons with inhabited living armor. So I get like that kind of stuff wouldn't bother me, but like if you could like directly lift things that we make, that part, because we're probably going to do products at some point as well. That would be considered like IP. That would, it'd be cool if you give us a credit. Like, you know, I got this idea like somewhere's in the back of your, I don't know if you have like credits or whatever in your products is like, oh, you know, in this encounter design, you know, idea from Nerdarchy or whatever. But for most part, no, I don't really care. We put this stuff out there for you guys to use in your games. But if we came up with something that would be really specific to Chimes of Discordia or our world, and you're like, hey, I just made a product based off of this. Yeah, that's fine, but we won't need to talk about licensing. So, and we actually do have products coming up soon. Like, I'm fairly sure, we got all like flustered with this 50K, but there's a good possibility we are going to launch something this coming week. So keep your eyes open for that. If we do, we'll have a video on it. Don't die, Ted. Don't die.
Nah, it's just a cold.
Oh, okay.
If you do die, remember, it has to be live.
It has to be live for the fans.
Live death.
I know. I hear beeping. It's my phone.
It's your phone.
My phone is silenced, though. It should not make noises.
It's not. It's silent, so it's going to vibrate. So it vibrates.
Curses, and it's close. Ranger 1 question: what low-level monsters would be cool to use in the Outer Planes campaign? Outer Planes. That's like the elemental planes, not the inner plane. Or are they the inner planes? The lower planes. Like, look, because it depends. Like which one. I'm getting my planes mixed up here, but like Lemurs and Manes, they're always like great monsters for if you're talking about like the lower planes, imps, quasits, that kind of stuff.
You can go with, if you're doing elemental stuff, you got the Mephits. Mephits are pretty low.
Magma Man.
Mephits, Magma Man is another one. Although that stuff used could be kind of brutal as well.
Oh yeah, all the popping, exploding things. That's pretty nasty when I used them.
If you're looking to, do elemental plane of fire or close to that, the Azers would be a cool role-playing crux.
Are they reading GM91 posts? Nah, we're handling questions that are in the chat. We're just killing some time hanging out before we talk about the 50K giveaway. What are we up to for people in the chat?
I don't know. I'll let you know.
So question: 7. What is your pet peeve about D&D 5e? Are you trolling us, man? There's nothing. No. we actually have done videos about it, and it comes out in a lot of our videos, like the Beast Companion. We don't like shared actions. We don't like the charm spells where you instantly know you've been charmed, right. Like that kind of stuff.
I understand why charms like that. It's just still annoying.
Yeah, we actually are. Well, I'm working on a Chimes of Discordia or Nerdarchy house rule document that we're gonna get it expanded out and throw it up on the site, not only for us to be able to share with our individual tables that we game with, be like, hey, look, just so you're clear, here's the rules that we've been playing with for a while, but as well as so that if you guys want to adopt any of our house rules.
We do have a house rule video. It's out there.
Have
with a list of stuff in it.
I have to go find that one to make sure I've got that all on the list.
Yeah, and we've changed some things too.
I think since we did that video, we changed the Dragonborn.
Yeah, we added like one of the things we realized after playing a while. Dragonborn breath weapon is really cool until you hit about like 5th level, and then it's like you've always got a better option than using it. If you're a fighter, you're better off hitting things. If you're a spellcaster, you might as well cast spells. So we just changed it from being an action to a bonus action. Doesn't do anything. It's a little flavor. It's a little cool. Dragonborn in general, when you compare them to dwarves and elves, their suite of racial abilities are kind of lacking anyway. It's just like breath weapon, resistance. That's it.
Yeah. They don't even get dark vision.
They don't deserve it. You stand in there in the dark, not seeing, and think about what you did.
Yeah, you came from dragons, but they just X'd that off when they were figuring out stuff they're going to ditch.
You're not getting a tail. You're not getting wings. You're not getting cool spiffy eyes. Go over there. Breathe your elemental damage.
Yeah, I would say, going back to what we liked about 5th, what we don't like about 5th, that's not really what I have is not necessarily edition specific, but I always disliked how crits kind of stunk when you roll like 2 1s. So you think you're like, oh, you're going to get more damage, but that's like not true for a good percentage of the time. So I just like to max the first die roll and then let them, roll whatever is going to be with the crit.
Yeah, I've seen that used elsewhere as well. So, I mean, that's not bad. We didn't even know Nate was adding in his own house rules. His games were all secret on the internet.
If you go back to our very early videos, the ones that are like really long and choppy and what have you, the initial art on the player's handbook, it's very hit or miss. So like I know that was a big dislike about 5th edition. Some of that art just really stinks.
It's just the halflings. That's it. Just the halflings. The rest of it was pretty decent.
Okay.
Well, you like your halflings more Hobbit-like than
less Mongoloid looking, actually. Yeah, I just didn't like the we just didn't like the look of those. It was weird. C.A. Hollenbach. Question: how do you make it feel like the players are in danger from the elements? They are currently trapped in a frozen glacier dungeon. I would use difficult terrain to represent ice. You could basically just look at the cold rules in the DMG and apply those. So they start getting levels of exhaustion. That's going to make things tough.
You get your DCs, up. You can make those things really hitting hard.
Cardboard Fortress says hi. Hi guys. Hi Cardboard Fortress.
What's up?
Sorry we didn't game last night.
And they also say they like those halflings. So
what I like those. You would. It's got to be Anthony. Or is it Nicole? I don't know which one it is. It could be either one. We got a 50-50. One of them popped in during the live chat during the week, and it was easier to guess it was Anthony because he works from home. Figure unless Nicole's stealing time from her employer to watch Nerdarchy, which it's Anthony, yeah, which always makes me happy when we can steal time from employers out there.
Yeah, it was sad that we didn't get to do Dave's game last night. Second month in a row. No
inclement weather.
So we got a question from David Rom. My party is running an adventure that heavily involves one player's backstory. How would you guys keep the rest of the party involved in that scenario?
Get them keyed in. Make them be a part of it.
Check out our half orc video we put out like last week or the week before, where a GM basically had that same 911. And basically, yeah, we pretty much covered it in there. Is like even if you're working on one character's backstory, there's probably other things that need to be done.
Yeah, and there's linkages that you can put into the individual characters that can all tie into that main storyline without it being like still super specific for that one person. The idea, I don't know, from my perspective, the idea is if that person disappeared, can you still run the story arc with some tweaks, or does it require that person to be present? And then, then you kind of fall into story traps of, does it require that person to take particular actions? Because you can't make them do that without seeming extremely heavy-handed and railroading them. So there's that kind of problem as well. Like without player buy-in towards the story arc, specifically how you want it to go, like I guess you'd have to see more, I guess, before you could say whether or not you're putting too much on that one character.
While it's really cool and fun to have a campaign heavily involving one character, it can lead to problems down the road. Well, what happens if that character leaves the game, or if that character has a problem and they're not going to show up every single session? So I try to do it so you've got a generic storyline and that you've got characters involved from multiple angles.
So I think there is some questions we missed up top here. I want to jump back up to Duel 810 question. What stats and abilities would you give Xanathar? Maybe special layer surprises, but it's spelled layer. Man, I tell you what, if you were to just put Ye Old Beholder out and give him a goldfish familiar, or even just a pet, and just like deck the lair, like your players aren't going to know the difference. Like as soon as you like attributing personality traits to the monster, like it makes it different. Yeah, you can just still use the stats right out of the monster manual. Now, if you wanted to use it as a higher level challenge, then that's where you might do it. But also, like the way Xanathar is kind of written, he's the head of a criminal organization, so that is going to make things a lot different. So a lot of times you don't have to do a lot of these extra things and add abilities and stuff like that. It's going to be all about role playing and the trappings around him that's going to make it different.
So you wouldn't make a beholder who can sneak attack with his eye rays?
I might, but you know, I don't think it's necessary.
And you could also, if you're going to include certain things around him that he could actually gain access to using, so magic items that the PCs could use later if they defeat him or if they barter with him or whatever, but he could use them for his own purposes while anything's going on or some threat occurs.
Dual 18. Sorry, English is not my first language. I feel your pain, brother. I feel your pain.
So I would really want to like make the encounter, you know, tricky, and I would throw things on its side, and I would actually make Silgar pretty powerful.
You would up the power level of the goldfish.
Yeah.
And Kyle S is in the chat too, man. What's up, buddy?
Kyle? Long time no communique.
Adam has a question, and it is on quick tips for tying adventure modules together to make it seamless, to make it a seamless transition.
You put a hole through the books; they tie together real nice.
So I'm actually
that's about as close as we can get, too. Well, maybe Nate's doing something.
I'm doing this right now in my Balancing the Scales campaign, where I am started off as 5th level, and I've chosen to run them through modules based on, I guess, the overall arc of the campaign series. So I'm actually tying several modules together, and I did that by just simply including or embellishing certain things that I feel like the module could have gone in a different direction than it did. So right now I'm running, well, I can't say in case some of my players are on, but you know, it's one of the older modules from the Yawning Portal, and basically I included some information on dragons in it, because dragon cult's involved in the original module story, and I just included, you know, folklore about this, you know, powerful dragon that actually made the craters and made these different areas that have been damaged in the region, and then so the local people knew those stories, so they just talked about them as rumors and folklore, and that was kind of, that dragon may or may not be in the game later. So that's kind of like the tying factor, is there's going to be stories elements that I've added in of my own that tie everything together, rather than trying to say, you know, oh, just the information you see in this module, how am I going to tie that directly there? So I've just kind of draped, like, kind of like, you know, tinted everything with my additional story part that I'm going to also include in the other modules I run later on.
So Anthony from Cardboard Fortress, start the next module before the previous one ends. I like that a lot. That could definitely be really cool. C. Hollenbach, a goldfish is actually an aboleth. So now what I need someone to draw or paint or make a picture of, I need to see the gobblos from my games with spray paint and an aboleth. I need them painting the aboleth like Silgar. That would be amazing.
Doug says a babolith.
A babolith, yeah. Because someone said, make it a baby aboleth. Someone like shrink down. Aboleth is polymorphed into a fish. So like all these ideas, basically, you kill the beholder and then an aboleth shows up. You're probably really angry.
You have killed my pet, and then the mind tentacles come out towards you.
You're welcome, internet.
Yeah. Ugh, tentacles. So do we want to talk about the giveaway? We're about the halfway mark. We can start the roll call and we'll tell you what we're doing for the giveaway.
All right, so the giveaway, we're going to do a video that's going to get announced this week. And in that video, we're going to, tell you how you can win. And we'll probably show off again what you can win, but we're going to do so now. So here, I don't know how well this comes across with a glare. But this is a Pixelscapes Nerdarchy picture. If you've seen some of the live chats that I was in when I was at my other station, there's one hanging up. But it's cool. Jen did this, signed by her, and we're going to give this away, but that's not all.
Right. So we'll actually deface that for you as well. Although you could request that we don't deface it, but we will
sign and put a card in or something.
Whatever you want.
Since it's not our artwork.
It is artwork of us, though. So, and then the other thing we are giving away is a legendary bundle from D&D Beyond. So I actually have to look and see what that means anymore, because I used to know what it meant, but they've added, Xanathar's guide afterwards. So I don't know if that's still part of the legendary bundle, or if the legendary bundle is always like, includes everything.
Right.
Doug probably knows. He knows everything about D&D Beyond for some reason. But so D&D Beyond is going to be sponsoring our 50K giveaway, and they're offering up a legendary bundle that is well over $300 in value. We use D&D Beyond for a lot of stuff. We even use it for making videos a lot of times now when we need a piece of information. I run my Scarlet Sisterhood game from it, and I'm also agonizing for the games I run in person, because we usually use my computer to record from. Like, I need a second laptop. I want D&D Beyond in front of me. I don't want to carry these stupid books with me. Also, they're getting really close to launching the app. So once they launch the app, you will always have access to your D&D Beyond stuff. Even if D&D Beyond goes away, it'll be in the app as a reader or whatever. So as long as you keep your app up to date.
I understand what you mean, Dave. I have a secondary laptop on a stack of different totes off to the side that I use when I'm gaming. I'll here's the monster, here's the module, and here's this, and my other stuff I bring up, and I have all the tabs for it, and it's off to the side so I can record and do stuff on the main.
If you want, Dave, you can use my laptop when you run.
I was thinking about that.
But that's of course, you actually running your game again.
Well, that has to happen too.
We haven't gamed this since like October.
It does feel like a while. I don't know what you're talking about. I game every week.
I'm gaming tomorrow.
I haven't played in a while.
Meet Moo, is the app going to cost? No, the app is part of your D&D Beyond. So whatever you have access to on D&D Beyond, you're going to have access to on the app. So if it's only the free content, then your app will have the free content. If you make purchases through D&D Beyond, then you'll have access to that stuff. See Hollenbeck. Nope. I like to smell pages. I feel the paper. Like I like to prep that way for some things, like from books, but I'd rather run from a computer. I'd rather have it like just there. It's easier.
I like running from the books.
You like the opposite, right?
Yeah. I can prep digitally, but I prefer to run with the books. I was using in a recent session, I was running multiple monsters from Tome of Beasts. Like I can't set that up that I can just bounce back and forth between those things unless I somehow open multiple copies and have them all like linked to okay, well this is this is that. Whereas I can just put a bookmark in the 3 different locations out of the TOB and be like, okay, boom, I need to go to that monster. I need to go to that monster.
Well, I like doing that with tabs. I think it's easier with tabs than bookmarks. I've done both.
I definitely like using the digital stuff now. It's available through D&D Beyond.
So going back into the roll call, we've kind of derailed it a little bit, but we have Bards in the Basement in Niagara Falls. Chief and Nerdarchy Doug is in Cleveland. Raven is coming to us from the OZ, Utah with Virgilio. AJ Kinney, Lopez Island, Washington. Patrick is in Sweden. Zaref Gaming, Rodizio, New Mexico. Serbia, Belgrade in the house with Duel 810. Jose Suarez coming to us from Tampa, Florida. Oregon, Portland is in the house with Jason. We got Big Sky, Montana with Chris. Kyle S. is in Jersey. Sacramento represented by Ranger 1. Adam Foisey is in Kansas City, Missouri. We've got a question. I'll have to try and find that later. We got Meet Moo in Cape Canaveral, Florida. Pickering, Ontario, Canada. We've got, and that's the Illuminatus. We got Saskatchewan, Canada in the house with Skeeter. Lynn, Massachusetts with Comrade. Frigginator. Oh, nope, that's him just talking. Calgary in the house.
Frigginator's in Washington.
He is in Washington. Kegith 28 with Calgary. There, Frigginator again with Washington. Sunbury, Pennsylvania is C.A. Hollenbach. He's right across the bridge from us pretty much somewheres. We got another Saskatoon in the house with Lip Pal Picture. And now we have to search a little bit. Lakeland, Florida in the house with Jonathan Freeman. Jonas H. is in Finland. Awesome. We got Lunzas in the house with Renton, Washington. We answered that question. Davenport, Florida with Gordon. And we're caught up, and I bet there's more down here somewhere. We got West Philly in the house with Cardboard Fortress. Now, go ahead, sing it, Ted. I know you want to sing it.
Born and raised?
Yeah. We got Manhattan, New York with Sean Murphy. Ukraine is representing with Bluntman. Montana with Kenyatta. Kurt is in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Texas with Mad DM. Oakland, Nebraska, Andrew. Ohio with Bob Smith. Atlanta, Georgia with Anthony Johnson. We also have Bradford, Ontario with Connor. Kurt is in Saskatchewan as well.
Damn.
Yeah, there's like 3 of them. Are you guys all hanging out together? We got Connecticut in the house with John.
Is that Saskatchewan? Is that?
Well, Saskatchewan too.
Okay.
I don't know. I can't read. God damn it.
I heard Szechuan, so that's the last thing.
I've corrected him a couple of times, but
It doesn't stick.
Don't worry.
It's impenetrable.
Don't worry, Dave.
There's an ignorance force field surrounding me. You're not going to get through it. We got Kiefer 719 of Wichita Falls, Texas. And we've got Rabello 82, Sweden. That is a brand new Sweden in the house, folks. I've not seen that one before. Welcome.
Oh, no.
No! We got Wilco near Rotterdam, Holland.
all right, so now you gotta scroll back up and find your question.
I got the comment right here for the question. So that white guy memes is: would you guys ever run a realistic game, a game where your character is as similar to you as possible?
I don't know if we do that one or not.
We did a Nerdarchy Saves the World. It was only like 3 or 4 sessions, but we were ourselves playing D&D.
Now, it was ourselves to start, and then what happened was we gained levels through some magical means and classes and other things to kind of propel us towards
City Cleric.
like super powerful adventurers. But I don't know, as realistic as possible. You get into this kind of. I've tried this before elsewhere, and it's kind of annoying because you get into this thing where people are like, well, your intelligence is this, well, your strength's not that, and then it's like, how charismatic is everybody in the group? Like, where's your ranges? So that can kind of get disheartening and at worst, and
We're
annoying
gamers.
at
We all
best.
got 8s. Unless you're a Hollywood gamer, then you might have like a 12 or a 14. Or if you're Matt Mercer, you have a 22.
So there's that kind of sketchy social problems with doing as realistic as possible. And then you've got the people who, if you do like longsword training, like Ted has, or you do other things that kind of push you out above everybody else, then it's kind of like, well, the whole purpose of playing a game is so that I could be a cool fighter and not a nerd in my basement.
Yeah, like years and years ago, we tried, playing around with, well, what stats would we have? And actually, I remember this was when 2nd edition was out. It was like, oh, well, what non-weapon proficiencies do you actually have?
Mm-hmm.
And like we joked around. It's like, oh, well, I had actually done some blacksmithing, and when I say some, I mean I spent like 45 minutes. So like we were like, well, that's some experience. Let's write that down. Like it was crazy. We're teenagers. What are you gonna do? But honestly, if you look and see, it takes training to do anything that's there. That's why you're considered trained if you have it. So it's not as much fun to try and turn yourself into a character once you actually get to the nuts and bolts about it. I'd much rather play a heroic character that's not me. This way I can make up all the things that I want to make up and don't have to worry about, well, how do I justify this thing, or how do I stat myself?
Yeah, it almost feels like a session of justify your existence and then put it down on paper rather than playing a fun game. It's probably like a fun mental exercise to do maybe once, but I would not then say, okay, now we're going to play characters with this. And it takes a long time to figure out how to be a good fighter from nothing, from an average citizen. So how long are you going to play the game for to get to that kind of realism point that you can actually like fight a goblin if one existed? So Jason Cropper, we have, how would you deal with personal knowledge of lore? Oh, wait, how would I deal? I think he wants to know how he should deal with personal knowledge of lore of creature stats that he has as a DM when he's then going to play as a player.
Easy. Ignore what you know. I mean, and make bad choices intentionally. That's all the stuff that I do. I really like to muck things up for the party as a whole, and possibly have bad things happen.
When you can separate the difference between player knowledge and character knowledge, you become a better gamer overall.
Yeah.
There's times that you're going to make poor decisions because you don't know. So why not make purposefully a poor choice because you know something that your character doesn't?
Yeah, like to me, like there's a fun in that. Like we're playing a role-playing game. You're trying to play a role, so sometimes it means making bad decisions that aren't going to help you. Jason also asked a question: how would you run 5e in a way similar to Epic 6 from 3.5? So there is a Kickstarter that just recently kicked for Epic level gameplay, and you can check out. I think it was Thursday. We had Ryan on from 2C Gaming. And we talk basically. I had planned on talking about the other stuff their company does as well, but literally we pretty much spent the whole time just talking about Epic level play and the things they did and play testing and stuff like that.
Very sorry that I missed that Kickstarter.
So well, it's funny you should say that because you can still pre-order for the same price.
All right, well,
and if you happen to be international, you get better shipping rates by doing so. But after the backer kit closes out, you're boned. You're gonna have to pay like $50 to have your stuff shipped. I think it's $20, but something. It's more. It's going to be significantly more.
Well, we're gonna have to get on that.
So, well, we're not international. It doesn't matter. No. But we can still get the same price.
But I mean, I'm gonna have to get in on that before the backer kit closes.
Hurry! As Ted walks away from the live stream.
Let's get more gaming books. There's not enough on the shelf.
Also, I forget who mentioned it, but someone actually called out the rule that you're using and what Dragon magazine it appeared in.
What?
yeah.
The crit damage?
Yeah, the crit damage. They're like,
good job.
Oh,
that's
it already existed. Great.
That's a good grognard.
Well, I've seen it. I've seen it on the internet before. Actually, I've seen it somewhere recently, to be honest with you.
I have seen people, it's like, okay, well, you're using a longsword and you crit, so you do 2d8 and you drop 2 1s.
Yeah.
That does kind of suck.
Kind of really wipes away that crit you
crit.
just got. Yeah. It actually was worse because you're like, I could have almost rolled better if I just rolled another d8 right now. Oh, look, a 3.
Well, that is one of the wonky things about critting.
So I unlocked the critting for my games. That's all. But that's funny that it's a Dragon magazine, so that's back in the day.
Yeah, it's a little bit back in the day.
That ended with 3.5, right?
Yeah, I don't know when they went completely digital, if that was with the transition to 4th edition, but yeah, we have not seen, and it probably was because like Paizo was kind of like they were the publishers for Dragon and Dungeon, and like one of the other reasons for them to create their own company was because we need to make money somehow now, and that's what they did. Chirp, 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 chirp.
Sorry, I'm actually trying to find where the guy said which are the.
Oh, it was up there a ways.
Okay, well, I'm probably not going to find it then.
Yeah, so Gordon Reggio. No, Reggio. Rego. How would you build it? Sorry, dude. You know I can't read. How would you build a Tinker Gnome in the steampunk Arcanapunk mech suit? Did we do an Iron Man build at some point? First, you need to have arcane punk or steampunk armor in your game to do such a thing. It just depends. Like we had Scott try to do that essentially.
Oh yeah, he won, but he didn't want one. He wanted 100 suits of these things that could all march in formation. They had all kinds of crazy abilities. Could heal the person inside, and if they dropped unconscious, it would automatically teleport the body back to town and teleport someone waiting into the suit of armor so that the armor could keep fighting.
Oh yeah, Malcolm Bell, Dragon Mech is good for that, to be honest. And I just saw that somewhere. It might have been on Goodman Games. Like they have Dragon Mech over there. So I don't know, if they've updated it to 5e. I don't know. I just remember seeing it when I was researching something. And I'm pretty sure it was in one of two places. It was either Frog God or Goodman Games, and I really think it was Goodman Games. So you can look at it over there. Iron Man build with living armor.
Kyle suggests doing the Druid wild shape, and then the wild shape is just your suit instead of.
Doug was one of my favorite Nerdarchy memories. World building media making an aquatic city. They discuss creating aquatic ballet and wonder what they would be like. Did someone ask us? I think it was someone in the chat asked us what an aquatic ballet would be like.
It's called a shark.
And we're like, a shark. Although I do think having an aquatic ballet would still be fun with web feet, and you could definitely do something.
Well, I mean, it would be like, you know, an armored shark. You could turn it into something, you know.
Matter of fact, what is it? The animal
Atlas Animalia.
That's it. I cannot say it ever. But I think ballet is one of the monsters they're doing.
It is.
So in that case, like they might do an aquatic one, which is still it is funny though.
A land sea shark.
A land sea shark.
Yeah.
Well, I've also seen, like, you know, some people say like, oh well, you know, how do you make a, you know, a land shark? Like, what's it gonna do? And it's like, well, it's kind of what a belay is.
Oh, I like Truemates. Wild Shape Warforged. That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Ribahel question: as a new DM, what is a good adventure after we finish Lost Mines of Fandanver? I think the RP want to continue with their character. Okay, so it depends on what you want to do. For the most part, Nerdarchy doesn't really do pre-written adventures. We do a lot of homebrewing stuff, so I would highly recommend that. But if you're looking for an adventure, just pick one. Like, pick one that's themed the way you like. They're written well. I will say it seems like go with Tome of Annihilation. Does that start low?
I think so.
Yeah, so that would definitely carry you through. But I will say from Ravenloft on, I feel like Wizards of the Coast Adventures really upped their game. They got way better. So that's the only thing I would say. Like, if I was going to grab one, I would probably grab one from Ravenloft on, or maybe you know, Out of the Abyss, only because it's conceptually kind of cool. Might need a lot of work, and whatever you decide, like there's people that are writing guides on how to run these adventures in the DMs Guild, and they're written really well. Sean McGovern, he's been on the show. You know, he does really well with those. So, if you're a new GM and you're going to pick up one, you might want to also then pick up one of those guides to make it even better.
So going back to the whole shark belay thing, we have a reef shark, which is only a half, and a belay is a challenge 5. So there's some definite room for, you know, switching some things around.
Yeah, well, the reef shark is the weakest shark. There's a couple more in there, I think too, that are a little stronger.
Is there an orca? You're just making an orca.
There's other sharks too, because there's at least a CR2 shark.
And just give it a better armor class or something.
Let's see. Malcolm Bell question: do you prefer published modules or custom-made campaigns? What advantages do each of them have in your opinions?
Do you watch our channel? I don't mean to...
Well, listen, every video is... Sorry, Ted's being a dick. He's a little cracky. He hasn't eaten in a little while.
I think it's funny that Dave says that. It's just your turn to say this thing that you're both thinking.
Well, yeah, every video is potentially Nerdarchy's first video, and you don't see them all. We have a lot of videos out there. But yeah, we do mainly homebrew. And we prefer that because, one, it's a creative outlet, is you know, writing our own material and making it. And then the other thing is we really don't prep anything. A lot of times we run improv or off the cuff, or we very minimalistic in our prepping, where if I were to run an adventure or a module, I would feel obligated to read the whole thing, change it, customize it around the characters that are there. So it just feels like a ton of extra work. I think they're cool to look at, and I like stealing things from them.
Like, I've been running the RPG crate material for several months now, and you know, there's definitely an appeal to taking someone else's stuff and making it my own. But I feel like I have to read it, you know, sometimes 3-4 times to really be able to answer their questions that pop up without like, hold on a second, I'm going to go look this up. When you're when you're doing that at your table, it's not a big deal. But when you're running it as a streamed game and people are going to watch it, no one wants to sit and watch while I go reread something. So like I have to feel like I own the material that's there. So sometimes I'll make stuff up on the fly. I'll change some stuff so that I feel like that it's more my material as well. So I kind of took some liberties with the last session that I ran. So we'll see how things go for this Friday's game with RPG Crate.
So here's the other thing I'll say. Like, if that's what you want to do, go over to Twitch, right, and look up like Unmade Gaming, Encounter Roleplay. There's definitely a bunch of streamers, the official D&D's channel, that are streaming these adventures, and you can kind of get a feel for what's being run and how, and pick and choose what you like as well. That's another way where in this day and age, there's so many people streaming D&D that whatever adventure you're thinking about running, someone's streaming it or has streamed it probably, and you can just go check it out.
Your phone die?
No, I just stopped looking at it.
He's had enough. I had enough of you, chat.
Like, enough with the chat. I'm running a module right now, and I've changed it so much, but I had to read enough to be able to change it in a meaningful way that I enjoyed and I thought would work better with the players I had. So involving the players specifically with how they are rather than trying to fit them into a module. So you got to read it enough and understand the flow of it enough to be able to alter it without getting tripped up by it. So at that point, it's kind of, you could probably just write your own thing, but it's nice. I like it for inspiration purposes and then taking what's there and then adding what I'd like to add to it.
And I will also say, Chief and Nerdarchy Doug, thanks to DDB, found the giant shark is actually a CR5 right
there
in
we
the
go.
Back of the monster menu. And that is one of the things we love about
D&D Beyond.
Beyond is you can look up things so fast.
You can just like, I want to find an animal with the name shark, and it'll pop out all of them.
And hover cards. I find hover cards kind of sexy, to be honest with you. Duel 810 question: do you visit the Unearthed Arcana subreddit? So here's the thing, right? Subreddit or Reddit has left me mentally, emotionally, and spiritually scarred, and I try not to go back whenever I can.
Dave sits in the corner. Reddit.
Yeah, pretty much. Where on the the Reddit touch you? So I am a terrible writer. I write kind of like the way I speak.
I'm even worse than him.
Well, I can be creative and I do well in that regards, but technically I'm horrendous. And that was before we had an awesome editor on the website making things look much better. So I did like a review of The Lazy Dungeon Master, and it was the most views we had on any of our articles for the longest time. It literally took till 2017 for it to get toppled. So it was up for a couple years, and that's because I had shared it around on Reddit. And they were terrible to me. They pulled out the red marker. It was bad. They're like, you should never write. You should be embarrassed. What a shame. This is a shame. We also sold a lot of Lazy Dungeon Master copies for Mike Shea with that article as well.
But the money wasn't worth it for Dave to go back.
But I've been scarred for life. Well, the other reason why we don't do much over on Reddit as well is because we create a lot of content, and they hate when you self-promote over there. And it's like, yeah, I can rewrite the article I wrote over here for you guys, or you could just read it over there if you care.
It's the whole magical thing about links in the internet.
Yeah, but they don't like that. So
if you happen to spend time on Reddit and you want to share our stuff out there, that'd be awesome.
But the rest of us, our skin is not thick enough to hang out there. Oh, AJ Kinney, what article topped it at Doug Vahovic? I think the first article to top it was our first retraction. The first time we ever retracted an article.
Oh, yeah.
On nerdarchy.com. If you guys want to find out about that, I'll let you Google and see if you can't track it down because it's funny.
Quest begins now. The prize is success.
Doug Vahovic redesigning the website toppled it. No, there was actually, I believe there was 2 articles that have beat it since. I don't remember what the other one is. I just know what the one is. There's one that beat it, and then there's the one that beat them all, I think. I don't know. It was crazy.
The the one to beat them all.
Kyle has no such thing as bad press. Yeah, but we're terrified of attorneys. It's our favorite enemy. We're not high enough level to take them on.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's our lawyer.
Yeah,
I
it's not
cosplay.
good.
I just cosplay as a lawyer.
As a
every once in
barrister,
while.
yeah.
A barrister. That's right. I'm an internet
Look at this
barrister.
barrister jacket.
Yes.
Yeah.
Doesn't even have a briefcase.
Briefcase. So, attorney has a CR 30. Yeah, I think so. We did get a cease and desist from Fox.
Yes, we did.
You know, early on. Well, not early on. Somewhere's in between 2014 and now.
Yes,
We got one, and we cannot bring them on for our Sons of Nerdarchy shirt. Curse you, Fox.
yeah. So somehow the Sons of Anarchy had a problem.
Yeah.
Right.
But anyway, I digress. It is 3:01.
Oh man.
We have a holiday thing to go to later for me and you because it's a family thing. You're not invited to Nate.
You're not invited to it.
Man, I'm not invited to my own family thing. What's the table?
I got a date with my wife, hopefully. That does not involve
Sean
playing.
Murphy, what was the Dungeon Master video called? Dungeon Master video? I don't know. We got a lot of those. Like we have
Got to
game.
be a little more specific.
Yeah.
For us to know what that means.
What topic are you looking for?
I think we had answered a question of his saying we had done a video.
Oh, if it, I don't remember which one. If it was the one with kids, because we've done several. There's a search feature on the actual homepage of the channel. It's like hidden, but it's there. It's like next to.
You got to look for the hourglass.
Yeah.
The magnifying glass.
And
is it kids?
Yeah. Oh, I meant the Lazy Dungeon. Oh, yeah. If you actually go to the website and search Lazy Dungeon Master, the article will come up. Or if you put in probably you just Google Nerdarchy Lazy Dungeon Master, it'll come up. Trust me, I use all these methods to find our own stuff all the time.
Yeah, I search the internet for our stuff to figure out what.
Yeah, if you want to find something on just in general from Nerdarchy, if you put Nerdarchy and then the topic, things will come up. If you use the channel search feature, things will come up. Because a lot of times you guys will ask me a question. I'm like, I'm pretty sure we did something on that. And then it's like I pull it up and like, oh, these 3 videos we did on that. So, Boris Stremlin always abused the smite.
Yes.
But as they were saying, we have another video we still have to record, and Dave and I have somewhere to be.
Yes. So look for the 50K celebration video. It's going up. It's going to be another Gleam. You don't have to be a patron. You don't have to even sign up for our newsletter, although it's kind of cool if you do. But you can just look for that. I'll probably put it out early in the week, Monday, Tuesday. Not sure which day yet. We still got to make the video, so those things.
Got to make the donuts.
Got to make the donuts. And also we will hold that prize for 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
For 2 weeks, you'll have 2 weeks to get back to us because we had this come up.
Yeah, any Gleam contest, that's the cutoff. The actual Gnomeworks box, we had sent it out to Techno something or other, and I emailed them. I emailed them a second time. Didn't get back to me. After 2 weeks, we re-announced the winner, or we announced a new winner, and after I contacted that person, that's when we got the initial.
Yeah,
response.
so make sure, like, if you actually want to win the thing that we're giving away, give us your best email. If you join our newsletter and really want to get the newsletter, give us your best email. Otherwise, this stuff kind of gets swept away or missed or whatever. But we can't do much about that, though we try. So I guess with that, we'll wrap things up. And thanks for hanging out with us, guys. Until next time,
Stay nerdy.